Welcome to the Easy English Way, where you learn English naturally by listening to interesting topics. Today we'll talk about how to train your brain to think in English. So stay tuned and listen until the end to boost your English skills. Being able to think in English is a big step for people learning the language. It means you're not just changing words from one language to another. Instead, you start to understand and create your thoughts directly in English. This change has many good things about it that help you talk better. One of the main benefits is that you can talk faster and more smoothly. When you think in English, you don't need to spend extra time changing words from your first language. This makes it quicker to say what you want to say, and your conversations will sound more natural. Also, thinking in English helps you understand the small details and use the language more correctly. English has many sayings, informal words and phrases that are hard to change directly into other languages. When you think in English, you can understand what these mean and use them better. This helps you understand the language more deeply. Using English in your mind also makes your grammar, vocabulary, and sentence structure stronger. This mental practice helps you understand how English works in a better way. As you get used to thinking in English, you will feel more comfortable and sure when you use the language in different situations, like talking or writing. This makes you feel less worried and more positive about speaking English. Thinking in another language can also make your brain more flexible. This helps you see things from different points of view and solve problems in new ways. Learning to think in English doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and regular practice, just like building muscle through exercise. At first, it might feel challenging or even frustrating, but the more you practice, the easier it becomes. The good news: I'm going to share 6 practical techniques to help you train your brain to think in English naturally and effortlessly. 1. Make your home an English-speaking place. Making your home full of English is a key way to train your brain to think in the language. This means you try to be around English as much as possible at home, so it becomes a normal part of your day. One good idea is to set aside some time each day when you only listen to and see English. You can start with a short time, like 10 minutes, and then make it longer as you feel more comfortable. It's very helpful to listen to different kinds of English audio. This could be podcasts about things you like, internet radio stations that play English music, English songs, or audiobooks. Just listening without trying hard to understand every word can be a relaxing way to get used to the sounds of English. Also, reading English books, magazines, blogs, or websites about things you enjoy can help you learn more words and understand better. Seeing English is also important. Watching YouTube videos, movies, or TV shows in English gives you both sound and pictures. At first, you can use subtitles in your own language to help you understand. But as you get better, try using English subtitles and then watching without any subtitles. This will make you try harder to understand directly. Pay attention to how native speakers say their thoughts in these videos. This can teach you a lot about how to express yourself naturally in English. Another helpful thing is to change the language on your phone, computer, and social media to English. This simple step shows you English words in your everyday online activities. You can also put labels with the English names on things around your house. You can use sticky notes or just remember the English name in your mind. Starting with things you use every day is a good way to begin. Besides just listening and seeing, it's important to actively use English at home. This can mean repeating words and phrases you hear or see. Repeating helps you remember new words and speak more fluently. Another good idea is to talk to yourself in English about what you are doing during the day. Describe what you are doing, seeing, and feeling in simple English sentences. This helps you connect your daily life directly with the English language. Take some time to think about your day in English, both when you are planning what to do and when you are thinking about what you did. Lastly, try to write things in English at home, like shopping lists, things you need to do, messages for your family, or a diary. This makes your brain actively work in English. Making your home an English-speaking place means using all your senses to be around the language. By regularly hearing, seeing, and using English in your daily life, you encourage your brain to understand the language directly. This slowly helps you stop needing to translate. Starting with small changes and adding more English to your surroundings can make this feel easier and more like a fun part of your day. 2. The power of saying your thoughts in English. Saying your thoughts out loud in English, even when you are by yourself, is a very helpful way to train your brain to think in the language. This helps you connect what you think inside your head with how you speak in English. It lets you actively use the language without feeling pressure. A good way to start is to say the English names of things around you. Try to do this in different rooms and places you go. While you say the words, try to say them correctly. Once you feel good about naming things, try using simple sentences to describe what you see. As you feel more confident, try to describe how you are feeling and what you think about different situations in simple English. Another useful thing to do is to say your plans for the day out loud in English. This helps you think about your activities in the English language. Also, describing what you are doing can be very effective. For example, if you are cooking, you can describe the steps in English. Or if you are washing clothes, you can talk about what you are doing. At the end of the day, try to think about what you did by speaking about it in English. Having conversations with yourself is another good way to practice thinking out loud in English. Ask yourself simple questions in English and then answer them. You can also try to imagine talking to other people and practice what you would say out loud. Making up short stories in English about people you see or things that happen can also be a fun and helpful way to practice. To make this practice even better, try recording yourself talking about your day or your thoughts in English. After you record yourself, listen to it to see if there were times when you got stuck or wanted to use your first language. This can show you what you need to work on. Then, try recording yourself again, focusing on saying those same thoughts more smoothly and naturally in English. Saying your thoughts out loud in English helps you make your understanding and use of the language stronger. When you say your thoughts, you have to use your English vocabulary and grammar directly, without first thinking in your own language. This active use makes the connections in your brain for the English language stronger and makes you feel more sure about expressing yourself. Also, when you correct yourself and think about what you said, especially when you record and listen to yourself, you can see where you need to improve and get better at thinking easily in English. Third, learning by listening. Listening to English audio, like music, podcasts, and audiobooks, is a strong way to train your brain to think in the language. This gives your brain the input it needs to start understanding English directly. When you hear natural spoken English regularly, it helps you learn the rhythm, how the voice goes up and down, and common things people say. You can add English audio to your daily life by listening both when you are focused and when you are doing other things. You can listen when you are doing chores or traveling. This background listening helps your brain recognize and get used to the patterns of the English language. When you listen actively, you pay attention to the words being said. You can make this better by repeating words and phrases you hear or even singing along to English songs. It's important to listen to different native English speakers so you can get used to different accents and ways of speaking. Pay attention to how they speak, the sound of their voice, and how they say words. This will help you understand better and make it easier to understand English in different real-life situations. When you listen, you will hear new words and phrases used in different situations. Try to guess what they mean from the other words around them. It's also a good idea to write down any new words and look them up later, using an English dictionary if possible. For a more focused way to learn, try the naturally varied review method. This means choosing topics you are interested in and finding different English audio resources, like podcasts or interviews, that talk about these topics. By actively listening to the different words and phrases that different speakers use to talk about the same thing, you can get a deeper and better understanding. Listening to English audio regularly gives your brain the input it needs to start understanding the language directly. This constant hearing of natural spoken English helps you learn the rhythm, how the voice goes up and down, and common things people say. These are all important for being able to think in English. Choosing audio that you enjoy and find interesting is key to staying motivated and making listening a regular and helpful part of your language learning. 4. Watching and learning. Watching movies and TV shows in English gives you a rich and immersive experience that can really help you train your brain to think in the language. This way of learning gives you both things to see and things to hear, which makes learning stronger. When you watch English language media, you hear how native speakers naturally talk, the way their voice goes up and down, and common things they say in everyday situations. To get the most out of this, it's important to use subtitles in a smart way. If you are just starting to learn, using subtitles in your own language can help you understand the story and what the people are saying. As you understand more, try using English subtitles. This will help you read English while you listen. The best thing is to try watching without any subtitles. This will make your brain work harder to understand directly. Movies and TV shows are a good way to learn new words because you can see what is happening. The actions and situations you see on the screen can help you guess what new words and phrases mean. This makes them easier to understand and remember. Learning from what you see is often better for remembering things for a long time. When you see words you don't know, write them down and look them up later. It's best to use an English dictionary. Also, movies and TV shows often use informal language and phrases that native speakers use a lot. Being around these small details of the language is very important for getting a more natural and real understanding of English. To make your brain really work while you watch, try stopping the video sometimes and describing what you see on the screen in English to yourself. Another good exercise is to turn off the sound and try to tell the story of what is happening in English. These things make you think in English when you see things happening. Watching movies and TV shows in English is a fun and helpful way to be around the language. Seeing and hearing things at the same time creates a strong way to learn and helps you connect English words and phrases directly with what they mean. Starting with things you find interesting and maybe even things you already know, shows you have seen in your own language, can make it easier to focus on the English language itself without getting lost in the story. 5. Making English a part of your life. Using English actively by speaking and writing regularly is very important for making your brain able to think in the language. These active skills help with the learning you do by listening and reading. They train your brain to understand and create thoughts directly in English. Speaking English often has many benefits. It helps you stop needing to translate by training your brain to get English words and grammar directly. Regular practice makes English phrases and sentence structures become automatic, so you can say what you want to say more quickly and easily. Speaking often also makes your pronunciation and how smoothly you speak better, and it makes you feel more confident when you use the language. Having conversations, even with yourself, is like real-life talking and makes you think and answer quickly in English. Also, speaking helps you see what words and grammar you don't know well, which makes you want to learn and get better. Practicing talking with others gives you real chances to use and improve your ability to think in English as you speak. Similarly, writing in English often has many good points. It makes your vocabulary and grammar stronger because you have to remember and use what you have learned. Writing helps you make better sentences and organize your thoughts in English in a logical way. Unlike speaking, writing gives you more time to think and correct yourself, which leads to a better understanding of the language. It also encourages you to use more of the words you know and shows you how much you have improved. Writing regularly can even help you have an inner voice that thinks in English. The act of thinking in English and then writing it down helps to make the language stronger in your mind. There are many easy ways to speak and write in English regularly. Talk to language partners, teachers, or friends who are also learning, or who speak English well. When you are speaking, try to only use the words you already know. Keep talking to yourself in English, as we talked about before. Keep a diary or journal written in English, where you can write down your thoughts and what happens to you. Try to write emails and messages in English whenever you can. Join online English groups or discussions about things you like. Make your shopping lists and lists of things to do in English. If you like to write, think about starting a blog or writing comments on articles online in English. Using English actively by speaking and writing moves you from just taking in information to actually making it. This active use is important for training your brain to think directly in English and for learning English ways of thinking. Remember that making mistakes is normal and helps you learn. The important thing is to practice regularly and use English as much as you can in your daily life. 6. Breaking the habit of translation. One of the most important steps in training your brain to think in English is to actively try to stop the habit of translating in your head from your first language. This means you need to change how you learn and use English. One good way to do this is to focus on connecting English words and phrases directly with what they mean, instead of with their translations. This means when you learn a new word, try to see it, hear it, smell it, and feel it in English, and connect it to your experiences. Try to link English words with pictures, ideas, or feelings directly in English. Another helpful thing to stop translating is to start using a dictionary that is only in English, often called a learner's dictionary. These dictionaries explain English words using other simple English words. This makes you think in English to understand the meaning. It might be harder at first, but it's a big step towards thinking directly in English. Before you speak or write in English, try hard to think of your ideas directly in English. Don't just think in your first language and then change the words. Instead, focus on what you want to say and try to find the right English words and sentences to say it. When you are speaking or writing, it can help to start with simple sentences. If you have a more complicated thought, try to break it into smaller, easier parts and say those in English. As you feel more comfortable, you can make your sentences more complex. Try to set aside some time each day, even if it's just for a short time, to only think in English. Start with a short time, like 1 minute, and make it longer as you feel better doing it. During this thinking time, you can think about anything, what you will do today, how you are feeling, or just describe what you see around you in English. Finally, remember to be patient with yourself during this process. Stopping the habit of translation takes time and effort. Don't feel bad if you still translate sometimes. Instead, see these times as chances to learn. Try to find out which words or ideas make you want to translate and then focus on understanding them directly in English. Learning to think in English is a journey that needs both patience and regular practice. It's important to remember that this skill gets better over time, like when you train to get stronger. Don't expect to be able to do it perfectly right away. Setting goals that are realistic and easy to reach can help you stay motivated. Start with small steps, like trying to think in English for just 1 minute each day. As you feel more comfortable, slowly make the time longer or try to think about more complex things in English. Remember to notice and be happy about the small improvements you make. This positive feeling will help you keep going. Keeping track of how you are doing is another good way to stay motivated. Write down when you try to think in English, like when you practiced naming things in English, or how long you spent thinking in English. Looking back at your progress can make you feel like you have achieved something and show you how much you have improved. Make learning to think in English fun by doing it with things you already enjoy. Whether it's thinking about your favorite hobbies in English or trying to understand the English words of a song you like, finding ways to connect English thinking with fun will help you stick with it. It's important to know that you will probably have times when you feel stuck and want to go back to translating. Instead of feeling bad, see these times as chances to learn. Try to find other ways to say what you want to say in English using the words you already know. Think about starting each day with a simple English phrase or positive thought, like, "My English is getting better every day." This can help you have a good attitude and plan to think in English throughout the day. Conclusion. Thinking in English helps you communicate more smoothly, confidently, and with more understanding. It lets you go past the need to translate in your head and connect with the language in a deeper way. The natural ways we talked about in this episode, like making your home an English-speaking place, saying your thoughts out loud, learning by listening and watching, using English actively in speaking and writing, and trying to stop translating, give you a full plan to train your brain to think in English. Remember that this is a slow journey that needs patience and regular effort. Set goals that are possible to reach. Keep track of your progress, and find fun ways to add English thinking to your daily life. See problems as chances to learn and be happy about the progress you make. By using these natural ways consistently, you will slowly learn to think directly in English. This will make your English better overall and open up new ways to communicate and understand. Thanks for watching The Easy English Way. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more helpful English tips. See you next time.